All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
Hello, welcome to this weekend's edition of the NASCAR Quick Hit here for SHIPIT Nation. I am Eric, also known as TheGame, and tonight we're going to be discussing the Iowa Corn 350 taking place at, believe it or not, the Iowa Speedway. But before we go ahead and start breaking down the slate, let me, of course, mention us here at SHIPITNation.com. And of course, promo code NAS75 gets you $24 for your very first month of All Access plus SaberSim Core package. You get the SaberSim Optimizer, which is the best in the industry, projections and ownership, the Stone, slate plans, ranking, fantastic education courses from Tambo, Hoop, and the boys, in the best Discord community in DFS today. So once again, that is shipitnation.com, code NAS, NAS75, gets you $24 for your first month of All Access plus SaberSim Core package. And if you don't know, the NFL is right around the corner. So no better time than now than to test us out over at shipitnation.com. All right, let me go ahead here and pull this back up. Perfect. Pull my notes back up. Oh, we are a well-tuned machine tonight. This weekend we have we have roughly 245 Dominator points up for grabs, and we will, of course, want to target those points. However, you will have to check out the slate plan over at shipitnation.com for my final Dominator picks and my final Dominator thoughts. Practice this weekend was particularly spicy, especially for Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch got into a single car accident with only a few minutes left in practice for Group 1. And by a few minutes, I mean, like, quite literally, I think there was like 2 minutes left on the clock for Group 1. Kyle stated that his tires were beginning to chatter, and before you know it, he was hard into the outside retaining wall, so hard that the team didn't even think about repairing the damage. They rolled out the backup car immediately and skipped any qualifying attempt. So Kyle Busch will be starting dead last on Sunday and will be very chalky. Also, during practice, Denny Hamlin scrubbed the wall. However, that damage was incredibly minor. He did participate in qualifying, and I do not anticipate that team having to fall back to the rear on Sunday. But as always, please make sure to stay tuned to Discord. So for any drivers that do fall to the rear, I let everyone know when that happens. So make sure to stay into Discord. I just don't think Denny Hamlin will be one of those drivers. I also want to mention that if you are using practice speeds this weekend to help with your lineup construction, that I highly recommend only comparing those drivers that were in Group A with other drivers that were also in Group A, and obviously vice versa for those in Group B. Only compare those to other drivers in the Group B. And the only reason I mention this is because the track was absolutely faster for those in the Group B practice, more so than it was the Group A practice. And a fantastic example of this would be Ross Chastain. Ross qualified 28th, but he had the best 15, 20, 25, and 30 lap averages for those drivers in the Group A practice. But when you compare those times to literally everybody else, they don't really even stand out, and I wouldn't be like, "Ooh, look, he was 10th in the 15th lap. I gotta grab him," right? But when you realize that he was the best in Group A, and Group A had a crappier track condition, that becomes a much easier pill to swallow, right? So, highly recommend only comparing those practice speeds from Group A to Group A and Group B to Group B. Also worth mentioning, actually very worth mentioning, is that there was a Goodyear tire test that occurred at Iowa back in June. I think it was June 3rd and 4th, if I remember correctly. I don't have that wrote down here in my notes. The drivers who participated in that test were as follows: Kyle Busch, Austin Cindric, and Chase Briscoe. And that extra track time absolutely benefited those three drivers, because Chase Briscoe is once again on the pole for the 6th time this season. Austin Cindric is starting in 4th position, and Kyle Busch was crazy fast. I shouldn't say crazy fast. Kyle Busch was very fast isn't much different than crazy fast. Kyle Busch was just fast in Group A practice before he smashed into the wall. So those three drivers absolutely benefited from those from that Goodyear tire test back in the beginning of June. And I would say that their teams also benefited from said tire test, because it's not like Kyle Busch, Austin Cindric, and Chase Briscoe and their teams just kept all that data for themselves. Oh no, Kyle Busch absolutely shared that information with his Richard Childress teammates and Colleague, because Colleague does do is a satellite team, quote unquote, of Childress. Austin Cindric absolutely shared that information with his Penske teammates and the Wood Brothers, because the Wood Brothers is a satellite of Penske. And Chase Briscoe, you can't tell me that all of Joe Gibbs did not benefit from that information, as well as 2311. Maybe not so much as the other satellite teams, but 2311 is absolutely affiliated loosely with Joe Gibbs Racing. So, those teams and those drivers absolutely benefited from those from that Goodyear tire test, which is with those three drivers particularly benefiting from that said test. All right, let's go ahead and do a very quick rundown of the starting lineup for Sunday's Iowa Corn. I have 400 wrote down here on the stone, but I'm pretty sure it's 350. I have to double. Actually, you know what? Let me double check that right now, just to make sure. Of course, my tabs are going to load here very slow as I'm trying to do this in real time. Yeah, Iowa Corn 350. I have the stone incorrect. So, hey, ignore that on the top of the title. All right, starting on the pole for the 6th time this season is Chase Briscoe. Look, I'm a Chase Briscoe fan. I've always thought Chase Briscoe was fast. I in no way thought he would be 6 poles in a year fast. And there's still a good chunk of the season left. Possible Dominator play? Absolutely. Had good practice speeds. Why not give Chase Briscoe a chance? The Hendrick Motorsports duo of William Byron and Kyle Larson are up next. We all know that they are any given Sunday plays, and where they're starting, they are absolutely potential dominators. Austin Cindric, he participated in the tire test, and he benefited from that with a 4th place starting spot. No issues. If you want to try taking a shot on Cindric, do I think he's going to dominate? No. Would it surprise me to see him in the top 5, 10 all day long? Absolutely not. Brad Keselowski up next. He looked good in practice. Ryan Blaney, love some Ryan Blaney on Sunday. I think he's plus 625 on the books. Fantastic in practice. all about Ryan Blaney. Plus, if you're into the narrative, this is a big weekend for Ryan Blaney. Iowa is a track very close to Ryan Blaney's uh, mother's heart, I was trying to say. And he has a ton of family attending the race this weekend. Plus, on the dad's side, there is a major sprint car race this weekend happening as of now. It might even be over as I'm recording this, happening in Sharon, the Lou Blaney Memorial, when Lou Blaney is Ryan Blaney's grandfather. So that's also happening this weekend. So there's a lot of good, positive family mojo happening for Ryan Blaney this weekend. Plus, he's the defending race winner. So lots to love about young Ryan Blaney on Sunday. Hocevar up next in 7th. I love Hocevar all the time. Spire seemed fast this weekend. He's going to be very similar to, like I said, about Cindric. Do I think he will dominate? No. Would it surprise me to see him up near the front all day? Also, no. So have no problem taking a shot on Hocevar. Chase Elliott. I have not received, now granted, it wasn't that many comments in the scheme of things, but last week I made the mention that I am the president of the Chase Elliott Haters Fan Club. And boy, howdy, did some of you not like that. Well, that doesn't change me recommending playing him for DFS purposes or gambling purposes, because I think he is a fine play for Sunday, as shown off by his triple A's across the board and his fantastic practice speeds. I just think he's a dullard. So he is a dullard, but he's a fast dullard. So love me some Chase Elliott on Sunday. AJ Allmendinger. Can't get too into the dinger. I'm drawing a blank. One of our members absolutely loves the dinger. Even sent me a screenshot of like a big gulp, which is one of Dinger's sponsors. I don't know if I can get behind him though this weekend. Justin Haley in 10th. I poo-poo on Justin Haley a lot. I was high on him as when the season started. Then he just was slow. Fired Rodney Childers. Didn't really benefit from that, etc. Fast this weekend, though. Will that stay? Who knows? But facts is he was fast in Group B. Group B, while they did have the faster track conditions, also had much better drivers in it, in my opinion. So he was fast amongst the good drivers, and he backed it up with qualifying. So $5,300. Will you need to save money this weekend? Yes. Is Justin Haley good for saving that money? Yes. Like me, some Justin Haley this weekend. Denny Hamlin starting 11th for 11. I have no issues with Denny. Plus 650 on the books. Not the best here at Iowa, but good in practice. Denny Hamlin, he's like, he's a top tier driver. He's always in play every single week. Josh Berry, his practice speeds are atrocious. However, Team Penske, Austin Cindric did participate in that tire test, and I highly doubt he will be that pathetic at the race on Sunday. So I have no issues taking a shot on Josh Berry. Michael McDowell, the slowest Spire car this weekend, and that's still only 13th. $6,000, no problem taking a shot on him. Much like everything else. Do I expect them to dominate? No. Do I expect them to stay up there? I do. So no issues taking a shot on McDowell. Logano, he was a slow boy. He was slow in everything. he was slow. Would I recommend him? Why not? And I say that because we have seen time and time again, Joey Logano, Paul Wolf, that's his crew chief, pull race victories, pull crazy pit road stuff. Like they scheme their way to more victories than like any other team on the circuit. And Austin Cindric was a part of that tire test. So no issues taking a shot on Logano, even though his practice numbers look rough. Bubba Wallace, Brickyard 400 winner. Bubba Wallace is up next in 15th. He was also fast in practice. He got that good mojo going. No issues taking a shot on Bubba. Bowman the Showman. Love me some Bowman. He's cheap. 7,100. Great practice. Great track ranking. Like me some Bowman. Christopher Bell. Yes. TV commentators thought he was the best in practice. Then he just didn't have a great qualifying run. I think he is the furthest starting. Let me see here. Yes, he's the furthest starting 3-digit winner on the books. So he's plus 650, starting 17th. Spoiler alert, he will be making the Dominator pool because I do expect him to lead some laps on Sunday. Austin Dillon's up next. Kyle Busch was a part of that tire test, so Dillon would benefit from that. And Dillon was good in practice for Group A. Should you take a shot on Austin Dillon? I don't know. 6,300. Do you think he's going to pass a ton of cars to get to a top 10? Maybe. Or would you rather take a shot on the Dinger or McDowell, who's up a few spots in a better car? I mean, maybe Dinger's not a better car, but McDowell's in a better car, I would say. Or would you rather spend your money there and try to get the track position to begin with and hold it versus going with Austin Dillon and trying to gain it? So I don't know. I'm up in the air in 83. It is good that Kyle Busch did the tire test, so Dillon has that information, but I don't know. He's a hard click for me a lot of weekends. Cole Custer, he's a hard click for me every time. He's Ty Gibbs, no issues there. Kind of would like a better qualifying spot for him, but I have no issues going with Ty Gibbs. Shane Van Gisbergen will be a off click for me. I did want to mention, though, that his oval performances are slowly improving. Do I think he will win an oval race this year? Absolutely not. Do I think he will make it far in the playoffs? I don't. However, it's hard not to notice him doing better on ovals as the year progresses. And he has been participating in what's called the Summer Shootout that happens at Charlotte Motor Speedway during the week. And that's like Legends racing. They're like old Legends cars, kind of like old like Coupe de Villes. Probably not saying that correctly. But he won one of those races this past week. And those aren't slouch fields. It's like there's a lot of no names in those fields, but like Bubba Wallace races in those races. Scotty McLaughlin, he's an IndyCar driver. He races in those races. And SVG won one of those races. So SVG's oval performance is slowly improving. I just don't think I trust him in Iowa since this is his first visit to Sid Racetrack. But as this season progresses, I see myself adding SVG to the oval pool a few more times than I have before the season, at least as far as the beginning of the season was concerned. Red Dog, Tyler Reddick up next. He's kind of struggled during practice. It didn't seem too happy fast in the one car, but I don't know. He was good recently. He's good at this style of racetrack, which is a short, flat track, but I don't know if I can get in a Red Dog starting 22nd. It doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like he's having the type of year where if he's starting middle pack, he's blasted by people, right? It seems like he needs to be starting up near the front um, to really dominate this season. Zane Smith starting 23rd. I no really interest there. Riley Herbst. I have interest just because he is so cheap. So cheap. Compared to Cody Ware and Joey Gase. Like, I'll take Riley Herbst over those two any day of the week, right? So I only have interest with Riley because of his price tag. Eric Jones, can't get into that. Daniel Suarez, good track history here, but I don't know. It seems like they're struggling. Chris Buescher, love me some Chris Buescher. He excels at these short flat tracks. Ross Chastain, mentioned him earlier. No problem taking a shot on him. John Hunter Nemechek. He's been, I say, but really he's been okay lately. D plus on the recent ranking for John Hunter. So no issues there. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., that's a no for me, dog. Noah Gregson, that's a big no for me, dog. Ty Dillon, I will take a shot on Ty Dillon because tire test. Again, Kyle Busch, RCR, did the tire test earlier in June. Colleague is a satellite of RCR. So, in hindsight, they also benefited from said tire test. Ty Dillon has been more impressive than not this season. I mean, you got to we're looking at what he normally costs on DraftKings and the performances he has gotten us this season, and they've been pretty decent. So no issues with Ty at $5,000. I'll take Ty Dillon at $5,000 over Riley Herbst at 4.9 any day of the week. Ryan Preece, he will get a lot of ownership because once you get down here, you're really only looking at Preece, maybe Gilly, and then obviously Kyle Busch, right? Ryan Preece has been very surprising this season. Very surprising this season. And as you could tell, a great recent form, right? Track ranking here is not the best, but he was with a dog shit team when that happened. And this track type rank's not the best because most of those races were with set dog shit team. This year has been different. Do I think he will be a top 10, top 5 contender? No. Do I think he will be a top 15 contender? Yes. Do I think people will play him? Yes. So Ryan Preece, solid play tomorrow, but don't think you're getting sneaky playing him because others know he's good as well. Gilly, Todd Gilliland, 5,500. Hard click for me. It's because just slow across the board. I think there's better ways to spend that cash. Cody Ware, no. Joey Gase, no. And Kyle Busch, yes. So that's it for me. Discussing the Iowa Corn 350. I need to work now on the slate plan. I have the projections done. Probably do ownership in the morning once all the sports books and stuff finalize their odds. And then we'll go win some contests. So, as always, I thought this was going to be a quick video, and we're going for 25 minutes. So, as always, thanks for hanging out with me. And as always, let's ship it.